So here we go. Unpopular opinion, and you might hate me for this, but everything happens for us, not to us. Let me break this down because everyone has a problem when I say that we create our own reality, right? And I remember having some major arguments and conversations with people about this. What about the children over in Africa, right? That are dying from malnutrition. Yeah, I get it. What about the women and men that are in abusive relationships? Yeah, I get it. And I just want to say that us as broken individuals, people in our identity, we don't understand in our limited capacity that we are responsible for everything that our soul is experiencing, right? When we just disconnect and we live in this identity, we make freaking excuses all the time about why this is happening and why that's happening and it's not my fault and all the things, right? And yeah, sort of to a certain degree, it's not because we're unconscious most of the time. We don't realize what's really going on. But when you live at that higher frequency, when you step into your sovereignty, when you access your soul's journey, and you recognize that there's more than just I was born here and I die here, and this limited one life, when you step into that way more expansive experience that your soul's having, where it's multiple, but hundreds and hundreds of lives on way more levels of multi-dimensional aspects, and realize the complexity of this conscious experiment that we're all in, and the detail and the intelligence of the place. Oh my gosh. I mean, oh my gosh, we won't even go there. When you can watch from that level, you recognize that those souls that came in and have horrific experiences, short lives, all of those things, they have had that because they chose that experience for whatever reason. And we could go into all the details of why they did, and we would just be guessing because one soul is experiencing what it needs to for whatever reason that is maybe completely irrational to another soul because it's not part of their game and their story, right? We are here experiencing so that we can become more and more creative, genius, more filled with light, all of those things. So I'm not talking from someone that's had no trauma. I'm talking from a person here that, and I don't even think I've shared this, that lost a baby at 20 weeks, right? Little girl, Sarah, her name was. I'm talking from someone that lost her father at 15 years old. And he was the only one, in my opinion, at that time that absolutely, truly treasured me and loved me. It tore me apart. And yet, even back then, I had this feeling that he died for me somehow. And I couldn't work out. That did my head in at 15 years old. You can imagine, right? Because I had bought, even though we were not Christian or religious in our house, we had people in our family that were. And so there was no spirituality in my belief system or in my, the people that were influencing me. And so it was a very weird experience to think, like, does that mean that I am responsible? Like, how could I be responsible? It was because he was on the kidney machine and all this stuff happened, right? I'll tell that another story, right? But I knew somehow because my soul knew that somewhere in some ethers, like maybe there's this big soul school or something. And before we came down, my dad's soul and my soul come together and said, well, let's behave this way this time. This time I'm going to come as your dad and you're going to be my daughter and you're not going to know yourself and you're going to be having a horrible life and all the things that are happening and you're going to feel really traumatized about life because it's going to be really hard. And then you're going to have this moment where you need to start waking up. But for you to wake up, I need to leave. I need to stop being your safety net. So I'm going to pass on and leave you so that you have to work the whole thing out by yourself. And I go, yeah, what a great idea, right? Some part of me and some part of him made that decision. Crazy story, right? Every single one of us have had an experience and are having experiences to make us, to bring up our ability to become way more empowered, to be radically responsible for the thoughts, feelings, behaviors, emotions, beliefs, all of those things that are happening in the now moment, so that we can break these patterns, these family generational scars that are, rooted into our DNA, clear those out of the way, break them, neutralize them out of our system, and the ones that we were conditioned into, break those patterns and those bonds so that we can raise our vibration, support the earth to raise its vibration at the same time, right? Because we're all transitioning from third dimension into fifth dimension, where we're moving from duality, where everything is separate, to unity consciousness, where we recognize that whatever I'm experiencing outside myself is a mirror reflection of what's going on internally. So the more I work on myself, the more I clear the old patterns, the sadness, the anger, the doubt, the frustration, all of those traumas that are rooted within our system and in our neural pathways in our nervous system. The more I release that, the more capacity I've got to hold the real, true, soul-aligned Elizabeth, which is full of light, right? And the more light you have, every single particle of light, every particle is an opportunity, is conscious, right? Every particle holds consciousness. And this place is highly, like, not just our universe, our cosmos, like, this is a huge place that we're in and a huge experience that we're having. And I've got to tell you, if you think that the human race are the only beings on the planet because we're the most intelligent, then stop watching my channel, because I got to tell you, we are so not intelligent. If you think that the consciousness that created all of this, the creator, if you want to call that God, made us the most intelligent, then there's something very twisted about that, because a conscious, intelligent civilization does not absolutely destroy the home and the planet that it is living and inhabiting, and it does not create wars against its own civilization, its own community. Like, it's warped what we're doing, right? So to clean all of that up, you've got to take self-responsibility. You've got to take radical self-responsibility. And if you came in and had some crazy experiences from the get-go, right? Instead of thinking of that as your individual self that's responsible for it, look at your soul's decision, your soul's journey. Why has my soul decided to have this as part of its story? Why am I in an aggressive, abusive, or emotionally neglectful relationship? Why is that? And why am I staying there if I'm not enjoying myself, if it doesn't fill me up, if it doesn't give me more satisfaction and love and connection and support and bright light energy? Why am I staying there? It's a really good question, right? You're talking to someone here. If you are new to my channel, hi, my name is Elizabeth Eleanor. I'm an intuitive empath, and I'm quite tired today because I had a massive event last night, but I'm an intuitive empath. I started my spiritual awakening 27 years ago, and I've had some crazy, crazy experiences, from 3 shooting stars when I first spiritually woke up and asked for clarification and confirmation. Am I working on the right side? And I got that confirmation, and all the way through, all some amazing stuff, including meeting the love of my life. Only 3 years ago, my maiden name was Payne, Payne, and his last name, surname is Makepeace. And so when you're in that realm, when you're in the realm of living your soul's journey while you're having a physical experience, those magical things become ordinary. They're everyday situations, and you're living in unity consciousness because now you're creating with the universe. But hey, you got to get to a certain point to be able to do that. And that means cleaning up those vibrations that are holding you back, that are rooted in your neural pathways, right? Those things that every time you want to move forward, something pulls you back. That's the stuff you've got to start cleaning up. So jump into my website, stuff down below. You can check out all the links, blah, blah, blah. You know the drill. If you're interested, please subscribe to my channel and hit the bell for notifications. And if you like this or you didn't like it, please just thumbs up, because, you know, when you're here listening to me, it's me speaking my authentic truth. And this is my authentic truth. Live from your soul, be connected to your soul, and then you won't feel separate, and you'll stop making excuses for whatever's going on in your life, and you'll start taking responsibility and start taking the goddamn actions that you're supposed to be doing so that you can step up and move into a new frequency and a new life and a new world.